Ravens Wrap, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Geico, Miller Lite, Ocean City Golf Club, JC Tickets, ExploreOceanCity.com, Comfort Inn Gold Coast, Holiday Inn Express, and Ocean City Golf Getaway. Book your Ocean City golf trip today at OceanCityGolf.com, and hosted by the original Greene Turtle.
All right, guys, a round of applause. Let's get it going. And welcome in. It's another week of the original Greene Turtles Ravens Wrap Show right here. Nothing beats the original 116th Street at Coastal Highway in North Ocean City on ABC 47 and 92.7 WGMD, Delmarva's FM home for Baltimore Ravens football. Mike Bradley for mornings at 92.7 WGMD and weekends on The Fan in Baltimore. To my left, special guest once again, editor-in-chief of RussellStreetReport.com, voted, 6, 7 times Baltimore's best Baltimore Magazine.
Count.
Tony Lombardi, ladies and gentlemen. Give a round of applause.
I'm going to say it's one more than the Steelers have trophies.
There you go. Oh, very good. 7. I love it. I love it. Very good. All right, well, we are back at it after rested, relaxed, recuperated from a bye week. I think we all needed it. Some of us, we still watched football and casually watched. Others just said, hey, look, I'm taking a break. I'm getting my something else to do, whether it be the honey-do list or just relaxing or getting out on the beach or whatever it may be. The week off, I think, helped. Tony, just quickly, did you still watch football, or did you say, hey, I'm taking some time away for a week?
I didn't watch as much football, but I watched football.
All right, so you watched some.
Not?
Yeah. In our
when you have a wife that wants to watch football, you watch football.
Yeah, well, that's why she's awesome. That's a good deal.
One of the many reasons.
Well, and in our profession, we kind of can't not watch what's going on over the weekend as
Absolutely
well.
Not.
So, all right. Well, plenty to get to. So we talked about quite a bit in the last two segments, a little bit about the future of the team at the quarterback position. And I think we ought to start there, since we're doing the radio and TV here, is that there has been news out about Joe Flacco getting hurt in the Steelers game and with a hip injury, and whether or not he's going to start on Sunday. And, of course, Lamar Jackson's name gets thrown out there, maybe getting his first start, and is he the future? And he's going to get a lot of looks here, and that's all being thrown out there. But as we talked about in the last segment, Tony, we could be seeing yet a third quarterback starting, because isn't this the reason they brought him in for a week like this?
RG3 you're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. RG3.
You know, when the Ravens had RG3 in during training camp, there was talk about him just being around during camp to help mentor Lamar Jackson, because they had very similar styles. The idea was to try to have RG3 show him the way, show him the ills of his mistakes so that he didn't repeat those same mistakes. And that's all well and good, but as training camp went along, it became pretty apparent that RG3 should be part of the team, because LJ wasn't ready. Mm-hmm. If he had to take over for Joe in the midst of a pennant race, so to speak, mm-hmm. that RG3 would be a better option under that kind of pressure than LJ would be as a rookie. So here we are in that very situation, Mike, and most of the talk is about Lamar Jackson being the starter, because RG3 hasn't even been active at any point during the season.
No. Now, I could see a scenario where Lamar Jackson starts, but maybe he has a short leash and they bring in RG3 if need be in a situation too. Maybe Joe's inactive. But I think either of those two scenarios, as we do the show on Wednesday, airing on a Sunday, right. You heard it here first. We'll go out on a limb. I think either of those two scenarios is very likely.
You know, I could see them using LJ the same way they've been using him.
Right.
And let RG3 be the starting quarterback.
Play the role of Joe Flacco.
Well, probably take it a step further, RG3 being a willing participant in the plays where Lamar Jackson's behind center.
Oh, that's true, too. That's true, too.
But, you know, we're going to probably knock Joe Flacco a lot during this segment or the next one, and deservedly so in some cases. But one thing I want to make clear, Joe Flacco is one tough SOB. Now,
Agreed.
He hurt his hip. From what I'm told, it's a slightly torn hip labrum in the first series of downs and played through it. Now, we complained about a lot of throws that were short. He was throwing off his back foot. There was a reason for that, this game anyway.
Yeah.
So
and he was still, 23 or 37 in the game.
Right, and he played through it. Now, conversely, Ben Roethlisberger gets tackled on the sideline, and you thought somebody shot him with a cannon, and he had to sit out a play.
True.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I hear you. That's our Come On Man segment of the Ravens Rap Show. That's very good, Tony. And here's the other thing, too. Look, I understand we're 4-5, lost to the Steelers, bye week, a lot of time to kind of stew on this and all that. But, folks, I mean, not to paint too much of a rosy picture, but, folks, the NFL is the NFL. And at 4-5 right now, they sit a game back of the second wild card spot. And they're amongst a number of teams, including the Titans, who they defeated head-to-head on the road. They're still very much alive. You've got the Bengals at 5-4, who you play Sunday, and you have a chance to get a win against them and even the records there. You've already defeated the Titans. The Dolphins, good luck. I mean, with Brock Osweiler at quarterback, do you trust that he's going to take them to the playoffs? I doubt it. Yes, you have Indianapolis there, and Andrew Luck's looked really good under Frank Reich's new offense with them, but their defense is pretty bad. So that all said, hey, the Ravens are right in the mix, and you take a look at it, the Ravens have, the 27th toughest remaining strength of schedule. We talked about the passing defenses that the team's going to play here over the final 7 games. The Ravens will face pass defenses all ranked in the bottom half of the NFL, including 5 of the 6 worst in the league, and Cleveland, Kansas City, Tampa Bay, Atlanta, and Cincinnati.
We've seen it time and time again every year for a number of years, Mike. The team at the end of the season that gets hot gets on a roll. That's why we've seen the New York Giants win as a wild card. We've seen the Baltimore Ravens win as a wild card. And we've seen the Tennessee Titans develop some momentum this season. Look at that game when the Ravens played them, beat them 21-0. They looked absolutely awful. They had an offensive line that gave up 11 sacks in one game, and he only dropped back to throw 27 times. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Now they're on a run, and they're back in the mix of things. So the Ravens can do – I don't think that they are going to do it, but they can do it, and that's how crazy the NFL is.
Yeah. No, it certainly is. And look, you got to start somewhere. And Cincinnati, and we'll preview more of that game coming up in the next segment. But Cincinnati, a team without a guy that's really done in the Ravens over the last couple of years. And, much like last year where you had a lot of quarterbacks go down that enabled the Ravens to go from 4-5 to giving themselves a chance to go to the playoffs the last week of the season, they're in that similar situation. They come off a bye. You got Cincy and then Oakland after that. Hey, that's a great elixir, and, we'll go from there after that,
The guy you're talking about, A.J. Greene.
Yes.
Now, you never like to see star players go down, and you want to beat a team when they're at their best. But we'll take it. Yeah, we'll take all the favors we can get. And I think in this situation, not having A.J. Greene on the field allows the Ravens to use their corners in a different way, and maybe they roll coverage towards like the Tyler Boyd or the John Rosses if he plays, and those guys. So, and I think that it allows them to focus a little bit more on Joe Mixon in the running game.
If it should be the case, by the way, as we talk about the quarterback situation, if Lamar Jackson plays, he's played more snaps with 27 in the past 2 games than he did in the previous 5 combined, and that was 23. And his quarterback's coach, James Urban, saying that he feels he's making great strides in everything, calling his plays, dropping back, consistency in his throwing motion, all those things. And we may, we'll see that on full display, obviously. And look, if there's a game, if he does end up starting, let's say RG3 doesn't start, let's say Lamar Jackson is the guy that gets to start there. If you want to kick things off, better to do it against a defense at home that right now is reeling off that loss to New Orleans.
Yeah, Mike, I think it's interesting. You said 27 plays, I guess, over the last couple of games.
2 games, past 2 games.
That's a lot. And to me, all season long, particularly the last 2 games, using Lamar Jackson has felt forced to me. It's when you have a Joe Flacco getting into a rhythm sometimes, and then you pull him out after a completion, that just doesn't make any sense to me. I could see if Lamar Jackson was used in certain situations. Let's say he was really good at converting 3rd and 3s, or he was really good down inside the 5-yard line. You use him as a specialty guy. Use him a little bit more like the New Orleans Saints use Taysom Hill.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't seem to have a really defined role. But it's going to be really interesting this Sunday against the Bengals.
No, it's certainly right. And I'll say this to defend, though, the Ravens, folks. We've talked about for years, where's the creativity? Where's the aggressiveness? And they're trying to do that with Lamar Jackson. And it's not easy because it's easy for us to second-guess when it doesn't work. Now, I agree with you at times. They have broken up the rhythm, and maybe they should have been a little bit more judicious in how they brought him into the game. But I also say, though, for all of us that have complained about them trying to do stuff offensive and be aggressive, be creative, well, they're doing it. Now, it's not always going to work, but it's easy for us then to say, oh, it's not working. Well, you screwed up there. But, let's not be too hypocritical about the Ravens' offensive play calling.
I think it's one thing to use a number of players in different situations to try to throw off an opposing defense, but I still think using those players lacks creativity. I don't think they're being very creative. The one time they were creative with Lamar Jackson was in Carolina, and he dribbled the ball to Willie Snead's feet.
Yeah, well, that was one of the worst plays of the first half of the year for the Ravens, no doubt. And going back to the battle for the playoffs just quickly, again, as we talk about the Bengals at 5-4, they have the 16th toughest remaining strength of schedule, but we play them, so an opportunity there. The Titans of 5-4, the Ravens have defeated 29th toughest schedule. So, I mean, their path not as hard, obviously, but they play an Indianapolis team who's also in the mix, so they're going to beat each other up a little bit in division play there. The Dolphins have the 24th toughest remaining schedule. The Indianapolis Ursay's 26th, and Baltimore at 27. So, again, we are going to have to take care of business there. It's almost tough to believe that when you have Atlanta and L.A. and Kansas City left.
Yeah, those teams you mentioned, Mike, though, the Bengals and the Dolphins, I'm least worried about those guys. It's the Titans with that 29th ranked schedule for the remainder of the way, and they're they're 2 games ahead of the Ravens, right? They're 6-4.
They're 5-4, according to what I have here.
Okay.
Yeah. By the way, the Ravens, though, have shown an ability to rebound in November and December. We talked about their October woes over the last couple of years. If you remember, in 2014, the Ravens started out 5-4 before winning 5 of its last 7 to finish at 10-6. And last year, the same thing. They finished 9-7 after a 4-5 start. But we'll get into some stats. But John Harbaugh's 8-2 when coming off a bye week, and they've outscored opponents 254 to 143 in their 10 games coming off the bye week. That's pretty impressive there. So.
He claimed not to know that information today during the press conference.
Yeah.
You believe that?
No, I don't. Not at all. Not at all.
He's selling that to Steve Bisciotti right now.
Yeah. 13-3, by the way. Best record off the bye since 2002. All right. When we come back, we'll get into previewing the game more. The Cincinnati Bengals coming to M&T Bank Stadium. We'll get into it. We'll break it down, and we'll talk about personnel, who's healthy, who's not, and more. It's the original Greene Turtles Ravens Wrap Show, ABC 47 at 92.7 WGMD. We're back next. Keep it here.
It takes patience. It takes repetition. It takes dedication. It takes years to become a professional golfer, but it only takes 15 minutes to see how much you could save on car insurance with Geico.
The leading role in our story is our team. We care about people as much as we care about the food we serve them. Everyone we hire has a story to tell and a passion for the place they work. And that makes for a fun local hangout, where the beer is always cold and the food is fresh. At the Greene Turtle, you're one of us, and there's always a seat waiting for you.
Ocean City, Maryland is the hottest golf destination on the East Coast, and it's just a short drive away. With 17 championship golf courses designed by legends of the game, greats like Jack Nicklaus, Robert Trent Jones, Arthur Hills, and Pete Dye have changed the coastal landscape here. When you pair coastal golf with exciting nightlife, excellent dining, 10 miles of white sandy beach, and a world-famous boardwalk, it's no wonder why great golf is just the beginning in Ocean City, Maryland. Plan and book your next golf getaway today by visiting oceancitygolf.com or by calling 800-4OC-GOLF.
JC Tickets provides first-class trips to Ravens road games, including airfare, 4-star hotels, game tickets, and cocktail parties. We also help provide great seating locations to all Ravens home games. JC Tickets, where the games begin. Visit us at jctickets.net.
All right, guys, a round of applause. Let's get it going. And welcome back. It's the original Greene Turtles Ravens Wrap Show, ABC 47 and 92.7 WGMD, your FM home for Baltimore Ravens football. Coming to you from the original, nothing beats the original, 116th Street and Coastal Highway in North Ocean City, where Ravens 44. Give yourselves one final round of applause, folks. As we continue in the program here, plenty to talk about that is around the AFC North, news and notes there. And we're going to preview here the upcoming game against the Cincinnati Bengals. Don't forget, network pregame on the radio coming up at 12:30, kickoff at 1 o'clock. And we air just about every Sunday at noon on ABC 47 and 92.7 WGMD. I want to thank our sponsors, buyatoyota.com, your official site for Toyota deals. Our friends at Geico, also Miller Lite, our new sponsor this year. Resort Video Guide and Explore OC. Also our friends at jctickets.net. They offer vacation packages, road trips, and tickets to sporting events. And in fact, they give us the tickets that we give away throughout the course of the year for this program here. And in fact, tonight, as we do the show on a Wednesday, we're giving away tickets for the game against Cincinnati this coming Sunday. And the next one will be December 30th against Cleveland. So we want to thank the folks there. Also, a couple more things here. Don't forget to come down every Wednesday here. $3 Miller Lite bottles, $2.50 Miller Lite drafts. And in addition, we've got this Ocean City Ravens 44 quilt raffle, which you'll see a little bit later on here in the program. For those of you watching on TV, handmade for Bruce 44, $5 tickets. And get you in for the drawing that takes place at the end of the year. So we're looking forward to giving that away to one lucky winner to start the new year and end this current 2018 year. Also, we want to make mention, one final note, that we've got the show next Tuesday. If you're coming in person, because of Thanksgiving being on Thursday, we're going to do it on Tuesday, not Wednesday. So with that said, Mike Bradley for mornings at WGMD, weekends on 105.7 The Fan of Baltimore. And to my left, Tony Lombardi, editor-in-chief for RussellStreetReport.com.
That was some heavy lifting there, Mike.
Yeah. Got to get it in.
Heavy lifting. I got some lifting to do, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Take it away.
Because I'm brought to you by, as I say before, not only my mom and dad, but Ocean City Golf Getaway. Ocean City Golf Getaway is your golf resource outlet. Plan and book your next OC Golf Getaway by visiting oceancitygolf.com or by calling 1-800-4OC-GOLF. Mike, can I tell you a funny story?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm driving down today, listening to 105.7 The Fan, and I got to dial this back a little bit. During the summer, I said to Eric DaCosta, because I was listening to Lamar Jackson speak, and I said, it's a good thing that I'm not in that huddle because I don't understand what he's saying. And Eric said, well, yeah, it is a good thing you're not in the huddle for many reasons. But today they were talking about, and they had a playback of his press conference today. And during his press conference, he talked about his struggles during training camp throwing the football and throwing a spiral. And I quote, he said, my balls was horrible. And Scott Garceau said something that almost had me crashing my car off the side of the road. He goes, I didn't see him on the injury report. My balls
That's
was
good as
horrible.
Scott. That's good as Scott.
My balls was horrible. So let's hope they're not horrible on
hopefully
Sunday.
we have better days ahead, yes, and we'll move on. But yes, thank you. Thank you for that story, Tony. I appreciate it. I'm all sorts of blushing here up here on the stage. All right. The Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals, 1 o'clock kickoff, M&T Bank Stadium. Cincinnati leading the all-time series with the Ravens 23-22. Under John Harbaugh, though, the Ravens 9-12 against the Bengals, but own a 6-4 record at home. Now, some significant news in the AFC North. Well, in addition to the fact that Le'Veon Bell is not returning to the Steelers, and we can talk about that more next week because we've already played the Steelers twice. But Cincinnati firing their defensive coordinator, Terrell Austin, who used to be a secondary coach with the Ravens, was a DC with the Detroit Lions for a couple of years. His first year with the Lions was great, and then it went downhill after that. But Marvin Lewis hired him after the coaching change in Detroit this past season. But after 3 games, I think, of his defense giving up, over 500 yards of offense in each of them, including in that blowout loss to New Orleans, he gets fired. And Marvin Lewis takes over. He's going to call the defense, but because that takes a lot of time away of being a game manager as a head coach, he brings in Hugh Jackson, who was just recently fired from the Cleveland Browns and a former assistant with Cincinnati. So it's going to be interesting on the sideline. I guess one of the questions, Tony, is do you expect any major changes to the defense after him taking over? And he ran a 4-3 with the Ravens,
right,
but he also came from Pittsburgh many, many moons ago where they ran a 3-4, or, of course, Pittsburgh.
Okay, there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, there is. Sorry.
So, how can you change the defense heading into, week 11? That's a really difficult thing to do with even though you fired Terrell Austin. Now, when you're the 32nd ranked defense, you're 31st ranked against the run, and 32nd ranked against the pass, those are grounds for firing.
Yeah, I would say so.
But how that changes, it's the same old thing with the Ravens and the Bengals every time. It comes down to this, Mike. The front four of the Cincinnati defense, if they can get after the quarterback with just four, and they seem to do it every time, it's a matchup thing, and they can protect that back end with their shell, their cover 2, their cover 3 looks that they give, and they can get after the quarterback with just those four guys. That's why the Ravens have always had problems with them.
Yeah.
Well, it's that simple.
Do you want me to bring out the whiteboard for this one?
I do want you to bring out the whiteboard.
At the whiteboard?
The rebirth of the whiteboard.
We'll do this. Now, my camera people are like, wait a minute, I didn't expect this. But we will do the whiteboard. And here's the bottom line. When you talk about the cover 2 shell here, bottom line is you've got both these corners playing the flats 12 yards from the hash to the sideline and deep. And you've got these free safeties playing, both halves of the linebacker dropping deep. So they're taking away any of your deep shots there. Yeah, well, thank you. Is that better? Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. So, anyways, you see they're taking away all sorts of the field here.
Watch out, Vanna White.
Yeah, so your best bet is throwing right in the middle of the field, running quarter patterns, but also, Tony, having two guys that can stress the defense vertically. Who's that second guy outside of John Brown? I think that's a big question.
Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews, all right. He could be one of them. In addition, though, when you get a cover 2 look like this, what should you be able to do?
Run the football.
Yeah, that's bingo. Absolutely, which has been an Achilles heel for the Ravens this year. But this is when people call it cover 2, this is your typical show here. Halves. You got corners in the flats playing 12 yards. Your linebacker drops deep, take it away the middle of the field. But that opens up the middle with your linebackers playing hook curl. So that's your basic cover 2. So there you go. And thanks to Ravens News 44, by the way, for this excellent whiteboard, by the way. I also, by the way, had drawn up the Pittsburgh pick play here quickly, but we don't have time to get into it. Maybe next week. But that was the play where James Conner was wide open. But many of them run it in the NFL. But anyway.
The Steelers run a lot of pick plays. And in fact, the Ravens are very susceptible to them. And I think that has partly to do why their soft white underbelly, as I call it, their short to intermediate middle inside the hash marks is so vulnerable. And I saw that during training camp, Mike, when the Los Angeles Rams were in town to practice against the Ravens. Cooper Kupp was running through them left and right across the middle. Easy completions for Goff. And we're seeing it still manifest itself against the other good quarterbacks.
Well, let's talk about, though, the offensive line, because you had both tackles miss the game against Pittsburgh. James Hurst at right tackle and Ronnie Stanley at left tackle. Now, as we do the show on Wednesday, on the injury report, James Hurst missed practice on Wednesday. Ronnie Stanley was limited participation. Obviously, a couple days left there, but again, they could be worst-case scenario in a situation where they've got, a Luminor at left tackle, Orlando Brown Jr. at right tackle who's coming along, but nonetheless, he's facing a veteran and very successful defensive line, and he's going to have his work cut out for him.
You don't like to see these backups play like a left tackle. Jermaine Illuminor at left tackle. I saw that. I said, oh, my God, Joe Flacco's going to get killed.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen. He played actually decently.
He did. I thought he did, yeah.
But James Hurst is a guy just gives you quality depth, and he's a good left guard, and they're missing that, and that's something they're going to need. They're going to need those guys to step up against that front four that really is formidable and has created problems for the Ravens in the past.
Now, we talk about injuries, and we got about 2 minutes left here. A.J. Greene is not going to play until December, we were told last week. That's a huge loss for them. Also, as we know, Tyler Eifert, their tight end, out for the year. That was a couple of weeks back. Tyler Croft is on the injury list. He missed last week. Josh Malone, one of their wide receivers, he was out last week. He's also on the injury list, not practicing. They don't have a lot of guys outside of Tyler Boyd, who did do us in big time in week 2 on that Thursday night game. They don't have a lot of guys to go to. They're looking at Joe Mixon, who is formidable, but they're throwing to running backs now as their second and third receivers.
I think what the Ravens need to do is they need to choke off the run, force the Bengals into second and third and longs. Tyler Boyd isn't a guy that really stretches the field. I know he had the home run against the Ravens in that last game.
That was across the field.
2017. Yeah. So, but he's not a guy that really stretches the field. I think they've got the cornerbacks to be able to put pressure on him and man him up at the line of scrimmage. So I think if they take away the run and force Andy Dalton to hold the ball a little bit longer, I think that's the key to winning.
All right, Tony, let's get your prediction here.
I think the Ravens are going to go on a 2-game roll. I think they're going to get back into the playoff mix and go to 6-5 after they beat the Raiders next week, and of course the Bengals this week. I'm saying the Ravens 23, Bengals 17.
All right. Well, not knowing who's going to play quarterback and being unsure about everything, but knowing the history and coming off the bye, backs up against the wall at home, I like them to get it done. But I'm going to be really conservative in my pick and go with the Ravens 17-10. This game's been decided by about a touchdown going back to 2008. That's going to do it. The original Greene Turtles Ravens Wrap Show, ABC 47 and 92.7 WGMD. Have a great week. We'll catch you next Tuesday here locally at the Turtle. And go Ravens.
Ocean City Golf Club, featuring 36 holes of championship golf. The beautiful Newport Bay Golf Course and the classic Seaside offer golfers two very distinct designs to choose from. Ocean City Golf Club blends spectacular views of the surrounding bays, woods, and wetlands with the enjoyment of quality golf. Come experience 36 of the most challenging and picturesque golf holes you'll find anywhere. Ocean City Golf Club in Ocean City, Maryland, changing the course of golf in Ocean City.
Toyota has been awarded the best resale value of any brand. Because when it comes to holding value, nobody does it better than Toyota. In fact, Toyota owns the top 3 spots of all vehicles ranked by KBB, with 4Runner, Tundra, and ranking number 1, Tacoma. It all starts with legendary reliability. We build Toyotas to last, which saves you money. That drives us. What drives you? Toyota. Let's go places.
Ocean City, Maryland is the hottest golf destination on the East Coast, and it's just a short drive away. With 17 championship golf courses designed by legends of the game, greats like Jack Nicklaus, Robert Trent Jones, Arthur Hills, and Pete Dye have changed the coastal landscape here. When you pair coastal golf with exciting nightlife, excellent dining, 10 miles of white sandy beach, and a world-famous boardwalk, it's no wonder why great golf is just the beginning in Ocean City, Maryland. Plan and book your next golf getaway today by visiting oceancitygolf.com or by calling 800-40C-GOLF.
JC Tickets provides first-class trips to Ravens road games, including airfare, 4-star hotels, game tickets, and cocktail parties. We also help provide great seating locations to all Ravens home games. JC Tickets, where the games begin. Visit us at jctickets.net.